What's going on, my people? Welcome back to another episode of the Stop the Count podcast. In this episode, we will talk about the players I would like to see come to Chivas and to Milan. And we will also talk about the players who I think should no longer continue on these teams. First, I'll get into Chivas and some players from Tapatío who I'd like to see brought up and get playing time, and a couple of younger players who aren't on Tapatío's roster yet. I just want to say this last torneo, when we made it to the finals, we had nobody debut. The cantera is crucial for Chivas. In the past years where Chivas have became champions or went to the finals, the team always had a strong base of canteranos. I'm going to start off the list by naming a player all Chivas fans should know by now. That's Sebastián Pérez Buquet. He did already debut in 2022 and has since gotten little to no playing time. He did get a few minutes under Pauno this torneo, but would come in and play as a winger, which is not really his natural position. His more natural position is playing behind the striker, an attacking midfielder, or even a center midfielder. He is a great dribbler, very mobile, always able to find his teammates in open spaces. The only thing that, in my opinion, holds him back is his height. And for Chivas, that's important, as having two short midfielders would be a huge disadvantage playing Nene Beltran and Perez Buquet together. This could be the reason he came in and played as a winger, but besides that, he has really looked special. There's those players that you notice right away their first touch of the ball, and he's one of those players. Next is a position of need, and a lot of people were excited about a couple years ago, and that is Luis Puente. The 20-year-old has had injury problems, and that's why he hasn't been able to debut. He has had multiple knee surgeries and setbacks, leaving him unable to play for the past 2 years. He did come back this season with Tapatío and the under 20s and was able to score 7 goals. Luis has that eye for goal that a good number 9 needs, and he's also very strong. Next, I'll talk about someone who would replace a player I have transferring out. The youth player is Mateo Chavez, the left back, son of El Tilon Chavez. Mateo is a very skilled fullback who attacks very well and also defends well. In the games of Tapatío I watched, he has always been the standout player for me. Another one would be defenders Raul Martinez and Diego Campillo. I put these two together, but this is a very hard position for them to break through, as at Chivas they already have Chiquete and Tiva, and also they have Pollo Briseño as a backup or even a starter. This is just a very, very hard position for these two to break through at. They could also play as a number 5, but their more natural position is the center defenders. Another player would be Miguel Gomez. I believe he's a more suitable right back replacement as a backup for Chapito Sanchez, as Chapito is only getting older, and Alan Mosso, after the Liga he had, is irreplaceable. Miguel is very good attacking, and he sends in beautiful crosses, but I think defending is where he stands out the most to me. Now, this next position is a position of need for Chivas, and that is Eduardo Garcia, who Chivas fans have been asking for quite some time, as he's a goalie with great potential. That was shown in the Under 17 World Cup a couple years ago. The thing that stands out for me the most is he plays well with the ball at his feet. Now, for some players I would like to mention from the youth squads, starting off with striker Gael Garcia, who again, my first time seeing him touch a ball, I seen those same special qualities a number 9 needs. Another one would be someone who has already done pretemporada with the team, Marioni Ham. Also, Yael Padilla, who has been on the first team bench for quite some time, and he did look well in the youth games I seen him play. A good playmaker with good decision making and passing ability. He also dribbles very well. Now, he was not able to debut in any games he came out on the bench. The final prospect is, I believe, the youngest prospect on this list, and that is Hugo Camberos. The under 18 player has been lighting up that division lately. I'm expecting big things from him in the coming years. Now, for Chivas players, I would think are going to be sold or loaned out this transfer window. I'm going to start the list off by saying I believe Luis Olivas, the 23-year-old defender, who has been seemingly erased from the first team, playing little minutes in Tapatío, Now, I would like to see him be loaned out, but I expect him to be used as an intercambio. Another player would be Iram Mier as well. I believe he's already gone, as he only played 3 games for a total of 125 minutes this torneo, and his contract is set to expire. The left back position is a hard position, as Chicote was the starter most of the year until the most recent Liga, and Mayorga was a decent backup. I personally would prefer a more defensive left back, as at right back there's already Alan Mosso who likes to get forward. Now, if I would pick someone who I'd like to see get sold, it would be Chicote. And I would 100% give Mateo Chavez a shot in the first division. Now, for the midfield, La Morsa Flores would be another person I would like to see gone as well, or Lalo Torres. Now, Lalo is very young, but just doesn't play well, as at times when he gets the ball, he gets nervous and scared and passes the ball back to the defense or the goalkeeper. It's very rare you see him play a good forward pass or even attempt to dribble past somebody. Next for the attack, getting into Daniel Rios or Ronaldo Cisneros. I would think one, if not both of these players should be getting sold, as their function as a 9 is to score goals, and they really weren't able to do that. As Pauno would much rather prefer playing a midfielder there than a striker. Neither of these two have that killer instinct a number 9 should have. Now, Rios has only been at Chivas for 6 months, so I would believe Ronaldo Cisneros would be the one sold, although I think Ronaldo is the better player. As Daniel Rios looked very passive, for example, against America and the Liga, the play that stands out to me the most was where he brought the ball down to Pocho in the box, and that's a play where a good number 9 brings the ball down and shoots for goal. Now, for the final player I feel Chivas should look to offload is Alexis Vega. Yes, the left winger is possibly the most talented Mexican playing right now in the Liga MX, but I feel he's lost that hunger to want to strive for more. Since he hasn't had any good looks from Europe, he still has yet to score a Liga goal in his time with Chivas and only has one goal in the repechaje during that same time. He's a player who shrinks under the spotlight. This is a crucial window for Chivas, as now it looks as if they're finally taking that leap, and Alexis Vega is looking as if he doesn't have a care in the world as long as that check clears. Now I'm going to put Chapito Sanchez and Cone Brizuela in their own category as players who shouldn't be in the team, but due to history and the things they've done for the institution, will stay. If a player you are thinking of is not on the list, I feel he should stay. Now, getting into some transfers that are pretty much wrapped up, just needing to be made official by the team. Ricardo Marin was the Expansión Clausura Golden Boot winner with Celaya, and it looks almost certain he will be joining Chivas. Also, Oscar Wally, a goalkeeper with 3 different nationalities, one of them being Mexican, as his mom was born in Mexico, also looks like a done deal coming over from Spain on a free transfer. From what I've heard, he is a really good shot stopper, but he was the goalie with the most goals allowed in the Spanish second division last season. He did not by any means have a good team around him, but I feel this is almost as if Chivas are signing their own version of Memo Ochoa. Now, for some players I would like to see them sign this summer and also some rumors. The biggest rumors are still Chicharito and Carlos Vela. Every window these two come up and it never happens. Although the optimism stays the same and it looks as if Chicharito is getting closer than ever, but salary affects a lot. Also, Carlos Vela has left the door open for a return to Mexico, although I don't believe it will be anytime soon, and he didn't for sure say it will happen with Chivas. For some rumors that might happen, Chivas look to be closing in on the signing of Alan Pulido. Yes, the goal scorer that helped Chivas secure La Doce might be back. In my opinion, this would be more of a step back than a step forward. Yes, Alan gave us a great joy in his first stint, but hasn't done much with Kansas City, and he is also coming off of a knee surgery. Now, there's rumors that Chivas will go for either Luis Chavez or Eric Sanchez, and personally, I don't believe either of these will happen, although I wouldn't mind having Luis Chavez roaming the midfield. The name that has been sounding the most in the more recent days has been PSV's Eric Gutierrez, not only because of the Instagram post that occurred But it is being said Guti will be asking for a transfer out of PSV as he had little game time this season. I still believe it will be hard to get him to Chivas. Now, if Chivas do go for a midfielder, I would believe it would be someone like Alan Cervantes, a cheaper alternative, a defensive midfielder, a canterano of Chivas, who now plays for Santos. Now, it's being rumored many teams are after him, and Santos would entertain offers of 4 million plus a young player. Now, for a winger, someone like Rey Flugencio wouldn't be bad. The only thing is this player's discipline, and it has been a problem that Chivas is barely getting past. So I wouldn't like him to be on the team for those reasons. For someone I do feel would fit in is someone I would bring in on loan. That someone is Marcelo Flores. Yes, the Arsenal youngster is someone I would like to see playing down the wing for Chivas. He could also play behind the striker, but I feel the wing benefits him more. And you may say, why would they bring him? It's a step back for the player. But no, he's barely getting playing time with Oviedo and still has a lot of developing to do if he wants to break through at Arsenal. Or an alternative to Marcelo would be Rodrigo Huescas, although the European interest might make it hard to get the player. Another rumor that has been going around is Jesus Gallardo. He is also reportedly wanting to leave Monterrey on a free transfer, and it wouldn't be bad for Chivas. You get a top caliber left back that could play wing for free. I think instead of signing an almost 30-year-old left back, they should give Mateo Chavez a chance. Obviously, these wouldn't even make up half the people I would have them selling, but I think the Cantera is too good right now not to give them a chance. Now for AC Milan, starting with some players I would like to see out of the team, starting with Junior Messias. I don't know how this guy is even on the team still. He's horrible. Another would be Ante Rebic as well. He hasn't been able to find good form, and I feel like if that's really been holding him back. Divock Origi is someone who I feel has hit his ceiling and has little improvement left in him. Milan will also be losing Brahim Diaz as Real Madrid want to have him in their squad. This is a major blow for Milan's attack. Radek Krunk is someone who I believe has also hit his ceiling and has little growth left in him and should also be sold. Milan also need a good backup goalkeeper as the three we have are horrible and should be let go. Now for some players I would like to see them sign or keep after their loan spell ends. First and foremost, the biggest need is a good striker, a good number 9, as our best striker is currently 36-year-old Olivier Giroud. The first player I would like to see them go after is currently ripping it at the U20 World Cup, and that is Marcos Leonardo from Santos. He's a player I've been watching for quite some time, and I believe the team to take him to Europe will not regret it. The price tag for him might be too much, as it has been reported teams are willing to pay upwards of $50 million for the player. A cheaper alternative, in my opinion, would be the new United States national Florian Balogun. Milan will also lose Brahim Diaz, as I stated. Real Madrid will look to find a place for him in their club, but I believe Kamada will come in and be the replacement for him, and Milan also have CDK and Adli to back him up. Next would be, for me, one of the biggest needs, that being the midfield, due to Benacer being out until past January with his knee injury. Now, the player I would look to replace him for the meantime would be Serge Milinkovic Savic, as he is already a proven player in the league. Now, he has about 1 year left on his contract, and that leaves the door wide open for Milan to get a deal done at below market value. Milan are also highly linked to English midfielder Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and he's not the type of player I would like to see at Milan. Now, Yuri Tielemans is also available on a free, and in my opinion, is a very good option, and he's already proven to be a baller in the Premier League. I would also believe they need a right winger, and currently there's only two names I think of. One is Jeremy Doku, and the other is Brazilian Angelo. Angelo is being targeted by many of Europe's elites, in specific Barcelona. That would make it a tough signing. I would also like to see them sign Lucas Hernandez due to the connection between him and his brother Theo. but getting Benjamin Pavard wouldn't be so bad as he could play in multiple positions, any position in the back line. And out of everyone I just mentioned, there's no Italians, and I do believe Milan should play with more Italian players. So here are some Italian alternatives for those signings. For the wings, there would be two options in my opinion, and those options are the return of El Shaarawy from Roma, and also a player that gets linked to Milan every year in my opinion, Domenico Berardi from Sassuolo. For an Italian striker, I would like them to take a good look at Gianluca Scamacca. The former Sassuolo boy hasn't really settled into the West Ham squad and might be looking for a way out. There is several outlets linking him to Milan, but he is being monitored by other teams. But that'll be fine as Milan have Lorenzo Colombo. I personally am really high on him, and he is supposed to return from his loan at Lich. So I would hope he's given a really good look at. For a midfielder, it would be Davide Fratesi, as he's someone I feel would play very well next to Tonali. I would only imagine the midfield trio of Tonali, Benacer, and Fratesi. It would be amazing. Not all these are rumors or players Milan are even linked to. These are just some players I would like to see them go after and possibly sign. Let me know what you guys think about the list and who would you like to see signed. Leao has also just signed a deal that keeps him at Milan until 2028. That'll be the end of this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at StopTheCount10. See you guys next week as we talk about the fights that are currently going down right now in the UFC. See you then.